Hello everybody, Aaron here again, and welcome to part 2 of 5 of my 34th birthday Collins report. This is pretty much going to focus on the Friday night and Saturday. Friday night there really wasn't all that much to really discuss. I mean, I was going through my usual pre-birthday jitters. I had one person back out Friday night, but as they were dinner only, it wasn't going to affect the team rosters on my escape rooms in any significant matter, if any matter at all, actually. So, I appreciate Adam Gillard for getting back to me on that. And yeah, it's the second consecutive year where he's had to back out at almost the last minute, but he's had good reasons for both. So, what am I going to do? Okay, so I wake up on Saturday morning, I shower, get my clothes on, and head out towards Perplexity Escape Room located at 56 Bramsteel. And there's a voicemail from Justin Welsh saying he and Crystal can't make it. And I'm thinking, crap, I just lost the captain and one other person in one of the Saturday pre-dinner teams. This is going to suck. So I'm panicking, like you wouldn't believe, because they were the first two of what eventually turned out to be 10 different people no-showing. 10, and that counts the one that tried to come Sunday, almost made it, but was 15 minutes late, and I was either in the briefing room or all the way into the escape room by the time she showed up. So, yeah, if two more people had backed out Saturday before dinner, or three people back out Saturday after dinner, I would have had to have canceled one of the bookings, and that would have sucked. So, after some massive shuffling around Saturday before dinner, the criminal interrogation team ended up being Liana, Jen Lemons, and Anthony Toda, and I felt really bad for having to split up Jason and Liana because they've been together for a couple of years now, and I had no choice. It was either that or I was going to have to cancel a booking, guys. Like, I literally had no choice to do this. Whereas the motel, the team I was on, consisted of myself, Amanda Brissett, her boyfriend Bob, and Jason Kerman. For all intents and purposes for the rest of this video, when I say Bob, I'm referring to Amanda's boyfriend, and when I say Rob, I refer to somebody who shows up at the dinner and Saturday night. I'm not going to get into too many specifics into the motel because that would be spoilers and that would ruin the integrity of the room. The room itself is amazing. The criminal interrogation room and the motel are Perplexity's medium occupancy rooms, the elevator being the smallest, the circus and the killer's house being the two big ones. These are the ones in the middle. 3-person min, 6-person max. I'm not spoiling anything significant in this. This information is on the company's website. Really good for a triple date or a double date that really wants to be tested. We definitely could have used a 5th and a 6th person in the motel room for sure. If nothing else, 2 extra minds to bounce ideas off of. I will say that my experience with the circus did help me to an extent in the motel. And it literally looked like the main office of where you would check into a motel, and then there's a second room, which is the room itself. And yeah, it was extremely well done. The puzzles definitely were varied. A lot of facilities just think you can slap a bunch of locks on a bunch of different objects and you think you've got an escape room, and you're technically right, but variance of puzzles is what's going to be what carries the escape room phenomenon into the 2020s. So, we do our group photos, and then we go to Shoeless Joe's at First Gulf, Biscayne. It's near the Orion Gate movie theater in Brampton, and Rob showed up, and he, a friend of mine from high school, I thought he'd actually declined previously, but his wife actually yelled at him and said, "You have to go to this. You can leave me behind. It's okay." And my night shift supervisor from job number 2 showed up, and he was the only person in the night shift to show up on the Saturday. One showed up on the Sunday, but that's a whole other video. Elsa actually showed up before we even went to Shoeless, was there for Shoeless, and then stayed for Saturday night. She literally had an exam like the following Monday, and basically was packing her stuff to go to Sudbury or something like to that effect. So we go back to Perplexity, and due to all the cancellations, I'm down to 8 people between 2 rooms, and I still had to siphon some people off and split teams up from the original team announcement. Again, sorry, I had no choice. So I was in criminal interrogation with Elsa, my friend from junior high, Rohan Chambers, and he brought a friend named Kelly that, sweet girl, definitely was quite helpful in one of the puzzles of the criminal interrogation, which I will not get into for what should be obvious reasons. I don't want to spoil anything. And that left Rob, Doug, Damon, and Andre to do the motel. And that was about as evenly balanced a split as I can make it, because I knew everybody but Rohan's friend Kelly. Elsa basically didn't know anybody until that day. Rohan brought along a friend of his, so he knew at least somebody, so my room was more or less balanced, whereas the other room, Doug at least knows Andre in passing because they're co-workers, albeit on different shifts. Doug's known Damon for years, and Rob has a similar mentality to the other 3, so I figure once the introductory jitters were gone, he would have been fine, and he was. Criminal, as I said, like the motel, it's the medium occupancy room, and I was extremely impressed with this room as well. I literally felt the claustrophobia of being a wrongfully accused suspect about to be beaten to death. Again, the puzzles varied. The multimedia aspects of this room were a lot better. But I also know that the motel thrives on being antiquated, so it's kind of like, what's your poison, basically? It's another 2-room. It's a little bit more physically intensive than the motel, but not all that much. The variety of puzzles were great. This was a lot more high-tech, and the atmosphere is about dead even. So, yeah, you're not going to pick one or the other and feel gypped in the atmosphere department. So we did our group shots there, and I had a game of Cards Against Humanity that you saw on the streaming. Well, the first of the 3 streaming videos. The dinner was the second. The Facebook streaming inception was basically what got Anthony Toda the Aaron Fest and the Bank Award. That and his willingness to come back on the second day. But my point being, we didn't have Cards Against Humanity because just about everybody bailed. Well, enough people bailed to where I couldn't even have the minimum number of people to play Cards Against for an hour, so Doug, Damon, and I basically all just walked home together, and it was great company. I hadn't seen Damon in years, so it was great to catch up with him. And aside from everybody, a lot of people dropping out that I had no control over, it was a great night. So, and I'll just end this video here, and part 3 will be Sunday. So until next time, I'm Aaron, and unlike Storage Wars, my show's scripted. Thanks a lot.